Kwesi Adofo-Mensah appears to be this close from actually being named the GM. We're going to be talking about why Vikings fans should be very excited about this. All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupagus show. I'm One Bar with Lupagus and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. Not official yet, but it sounds like it's only a matter of time. So we're going to be talking about why we should be excited. He's coming to Minnesota.
Yeah, not quite written in permanent marker, not quite etched in stone. More like those Crayola markers. They say they're washable, but still damn hard getting that shit off your skin. So before we get in that, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the vids. We are so close to 5,000. And when we do, we're going to give away the triangle of swag. One Bar and Lupagus hoodie or shirt, One Bar Lupagus hat, and a Vikings jersey of your choice. 3 separate drawings, triangle of swag. How you get that? Hashtag Skull in your hole in the comments.
Yes, and you also have to be subscribed here, Talking Vikings, every damn day. So before we get into why we should be excited about him, I think Lupagus and I are both kind of on the same page. I mean, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah was very high on our list. I mean, Ryan Poles was a hot name. I love John Spytek, but Mensah was never like, oh man, I hope this doesn't happen. I'm excited.
No, it was kind of always in the top 3. When it's down to 2, we were fine going either way. Poles decided to go with he a little better, not a better quarterback, maybe a better situation, rookie contract he's dealing with there. Maybe that was more attractive for him. I don't know what his reasoning was. I'm very excited about Mensah. I mean, he was right at the top of my list, and it sounds like from what you're reading now, maybe he was a Vikings guy all along, like you alluded to in our video earlier. Maybe that's why they interviewed him first, because he's the guy they truly wanted.
Well, it sounds like they might get him and love him or hate him. You might as well just embrace him right now. There's no reason to, I mean, it's like Lupagus. He was born with 3 nipples. He can't do anything with it. He's here. It's there. It's done. Can't scratch it off. Let's embrace this guy. Let's see what he's got.
I would say 2, just that they're the size of 3. But let's start. But why you should be excited. I think the first thing that we should really touch on is just the quote that's going out there on Twitter. A guy who used to work with Cam, as I'm going to call him. Just saying what kind of guy he is. I'm going to read it verbatim here. So he says he is a brilliant, well-rounded leader with a great sense of humor and fantastic people skills. He's a natural collaborator that will build a culture of inclusivity and bring out the best of every perspective in terms of decision-making. The organization will be in great hands if he is the hire.
Boom. You know what I hear when you say that? All that I think of is just likable. I mean, when you're going to a team, when you're picking your team, not only, I mean, it comes down to money, but you got to want to play for a guy that you absolutely love. And everything you read about this guy, he sounds very, very lovable, and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially what you hear what's going on with Zimmer, not saying hi to guys in the hallway, leading.
Sounds like me in high school.
No, you said hi a little too much to a lot of people.
I just meant people not saying hi to me.
Oh, that's true. So, yes, that's a great change. That's great seeing this. But I think another great part of this is the natural collaborator part. The fact he's willing to work with other people, maybe not always do things his way. Maybe it's, taking in a different type of player because the coach thinks he'll fit the scheme than someone that Kwesi wouldn't take. It's given a little to get a little for the better of the whole organization. I love that part of the quote as well.
Yeah, and you hear some of these GMs that are just raging dicks because there's plenty of them out there. So why not bring in somebody that players are going to be like, holy shit, I love this guy. He sounds like the real deal.
He does. He does. Another reason why you should be excited, you look at Ryan Poles, there's some coaches associated with him. The old guys, Dan Quinn, Jim Caldwell, who was the other one? Was it Bowles? I don't know, and maybe even Grosser.
I think it was Bowles.
So he was kind of tired of these coaches. Number one, Cam Kwesi, I call him Cam. He's not really linked to anybody, but there are some coaches out there who do have ties to him, and they're pretty young, exciting options, which is the road I think a lot of us wanted the Vikings to go. D'Amico Ryans is one, and then Kevin O'Connell is another. And maybe even that crazy ass, I know they haven't interviewed him yet, but the crazy ass offensive coordinator from San Francisco is another guy. So those 3 options, especially those top 2, get me a lot more excited than some of these old retread guys that have been floating around out there.
Well, I mean, even with these older guys, I mean, not saying they're not going to be fantastic, but I'm so glad they're bringing in a young guy like Cam Man, like you said, and like we said in the first video, is an older, stubborn, more coach really going to want to come in for a GM that hasn't done this before? I mean, this is one of the he's got the least experience. It's the biggest risk, so he's going to bring in a younger coach. It's almost like he has to. So D'Amico Ryans, the guys you listed off, I think we're totally in that ball game.
And we're both super high in D'Amico Ryans, and we kind of get that Mike Tomlin sense when came out from being the Vikings defensive coordinator, getting that Pittsburgh job when no one really thought he would. That's kind of what I just feel. I just feel that kind of buzz, that kind of leadership from D'Amico Ryans. You look how he's got this defense playing in San Francisco, just absolute lights out. And why? Because I think the players love playing for this guy, and that's what we need here more than anything.
Boom. Yes, young coach. It's going to happen. Next, I mean, you just got to look at it. I mean, Vikings usually go really the standard missionary vanilla ice cream kind of picks, kind of coaches. This is a very ballsy move. They're putting in all their chips on a guy that hasn't been in the NFL. I mean, you look at Ryan Poles. He worked his way up. He played college football. This guy is like completely different, and you got to love the balls on the Wilfs when they make this happen.
Well, yeah, and this guy's got a background in trading commodities. He has been in some front offices, but yeah, this guy's actually more suited to like run a company than actually be a GM of the Vikings. But really exciting that they're going a different route. You know, they keep everybody talking about Moneyball approach with this guy, looking at the analytics, things like that. So it'll be different. It'll be something new. It's something fresh, and it should excite Vikings fans to get. You know, they've been wanting change forever, and now it's here. So let's embrace it and see what happens.
Yeah, they are swinging for the fences on this one. I mean, he's been a hot name the last couple of years. He hasn't got the job, but it's time. It's time for a team to give him the job. I love the fact that the Vikings are doing it. Like I said, they're swinging for the fences. They are not doing a drag bunt down the first baseline. They're going for it all. I mean, in 3 years from now, it might be going, holy shit, what a horrible move. But until then, let's ride the wave.
Or we might be wasted on Hennepin Avenue for the Vikings Super Bowl parade.
Oh, God, I hope we butt naked at that thing.
Frostbitten dong.
I mean, those are the main reasons, but other reasons, I mean, you look at some of these drafts he had. He's been involved with the Browns rebuilding that team. I mean, granted, they didn't really have a fantastic year, but they got some damn good players on that team. Good coaches. He's been involved with Shanahan, Stefanski, lot to love.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, Browns were great this year, but helped turn that team around from 0-16 bottom feeders to they were still competing late in the season this year. They made the playoffs a year ago. Look at the players he brought in for the Niners. They're in the NFC Championship game. So he has a role in that. Yes, he wasn't the one making the decisions, but he was part of the group that made those decisions. So you got to base that, and you got to be excited with those kind of players that were brought in on those teams.
So Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, we will be looking at our watches, looking at Twitter, waiting for this to happen. I'm going to say it happens at about tomorrow by 9 a.m.
I don't know why it hasn't happened yet. I'm getting anxious. I'm starting to bite my fingernails. I'm starting to sweat. All three of my nipples are lactating. It's just been a mess.
They are, but they haven't interviewed any. I mean, this is the only second interview. I would be shocked. I mean, everybody would be shocked.
I hope this video doesn't jinx it. That's all I'm hoping.
It won't. He's coming home.
All right. Well, we're waiting for him to come home. Remember this. Google once offered to sell their company for $1 million.